Every breathing soul knows what it is and how epic it can be, but not a lot of people understand the damaging effects it has on everyone involved. Until recently, I was all for that shit, but after watching all of Brittany Venti's videos about porn and how fucked up it is, it's like my fucking third, fourth, and fifth eye were all open simultaneously. All you have to understand is that everyone should know they're not only harming the people involved in this kind of stuff, but themselves as well. But first, let's talk about the industry. The literal definition of prostitution is the practice or occupation of engaging in sexual activity with someone for payment. This should obviously go without saying, but that's how porn sites and Onlyfans operate. Also take into consideration how the word consent isn't in the definition, because consent has nothing to do with what prostitution is. For example, when you're talking about something like Pornhub videos, it doesn't matter if the girl or guy agreed to it, because regardless of the level of consent, they are still getting paid after engaging in a sexual activity, thus making it prostitution. And when you watch these videos, they get more money, which means you're directly supporting prostitution. Good job, dude. But some people might not understand how OnlyFans is prostitution. According to Evening Standard, OnlyFans is a social media platform which allows content creators to post content and receive payment, those are the two big words, directly from their followers or fans. On the surface, to be honest, that really doesn't sound that bad, but we all know why it's gaining popularity. That same article then says that OnlyFans has gained a large following, in part because of its rather lax content policy, which allows creators to share revealing pictures of themselves, essentially an NSFW Instagram type platform. So basically people are selling their bodies, and yes, that's what they're doing. Even if they don't take nude photos and are taking very suggestive photos, they're still making money off of their bodies. And the fact is that sending nudes to someone or posting it is a sexual act. And remember the definition for prostitution, which is, by the way, very fucking illegal. We can put two and two together, add it in with a little bit of common sense, and we can deduce that OnlyFans equals prostitution. Now that we can agree that the porn industry is just glorified prostitution, it's important to realize the mental strain it has on the actors, actresses, and models. A lot of people bring up the fact that they're adults and that they can do whatever they want and that they're not even hurting anyone, and that's where they're 100% wrong. They're not only hurting themselves, but their future as well. I think what's important is finding out why people actually get into this sort of stuff. Let's get the obvious out the way first. Money. Easy money. In Brittany Venti's video, The Ultimate Sex Work Takedown, she explains how women get involved in this out of desperation for money. Another point that she brings up is that they need validation.
How prostitutes are created. Desperation. Desperation plays a significant role in prostitution, it being money or validation. Sometimes both. The victims usually are targeted to begin with based on their vulnerability to being lured into it, such as not being fully developed mentally, coming from an abusive household, being drug addicted, etc. As a result, they seek what love or attention they did not get, or whatever else it is, from their households or lives via prostitution.
To prove that this is in fact a fact, I'm going to show you a clip from one of Brittany Venti's streams where she watches a video about an OnlyFans model and her mental problems.
My family, cuckoo, verbal abuse, physical abuse. Thanks to the physical abuse, I now have BDSM kink. Thank you, Mom.
She's currently experiencing depression according to her close friend. I don't know for sure. I'm sure she is, to subject herself to rating men's dicks for $10 a pop.
If that still isn't enough, let me remind you that the porn star August Ames killed herself. And guess what? She suffered from depression. So I guess it's safe to say if you support prostitution, you also support poor mental health and also future dysfunctional families. I'm going to explain that last part. In another one of her videos, she addresses some OnlyFans models and goes a little bit into their mental health. In that same video, she addresses how some of them have families or are thinking about starting one.
I really didn't expect to get so much hate when I said I was going to start a family. Why are you bringing a child into dysfunction? That's my question. I think I understand why people may have a problem with bringing a child in less than ideal circumstances into the world. I know it doesn't matter to most because I do porn, but my identity is so much more than that. I have my BA in psychology and I interned at my university's infant development lab. I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but once you become a prostitute, you could be a million other things at once, and all that will be relevant will be that you are a prostitute, because prostitution is not a part-time job. It is a full-time job, kind of like being a mother. No matter how you put it, prostitution is prostitution, even if you remove the street walking aspect out of it, and a lot of the consequences overlap. And I think that in itself kind of proves my point. And just one example, just go on any OnlyFans girl's Twitter that is a prostitute, the 99.9%, and just search their name in the Twitter bar. They're at blah blah blah, space, at quotation, insert the mental illness, end quotation, search. Easiest one to do is depression. Almost all of them talk about it, that how depressed they are. And it's like, gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because you're selling your body for the price of a Happy Meal. Take a look at this tweet. My son's friend is subscribed to my private site. Hiding monkey face. Awkward. 2,183 likes. Isn't it 18 plus? Yes, I have 3 sons. One is 18, so his friends are all 18 plus and jacking off to my content. LOL.
Quick question. If you find out that your friends were jerking off to your mom shoving King Kong's dick up her vagina, wouldn't you feel a bit awkward? Or I don't know, embarrassed? Maybe shameful as fuck? For someone to be an e-prostitute and even think about starting a family, already having one and still doing it, is fucking insane, dude. Man, I don't even think insane is the right word. I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of funny. They think of it as some like normal 9-to-5 job where they go to work and come home, clock out, eat dinner with the family while their kid is getting massacred at school. Real talk, man. No kid should ever have to even touch that level of embarrassment. And back to what I said before, you're supporting it. Usually when people talk about stuff like this, it really doesn't get through the audience's head unless you explain how they're affected. Since more men watch and masturbate to pornography, that's what I'm going to be targeting. It is extremely easy to access porn, which means it is extremely easy to feel good. If you know what I mean. That feeling can easily get addictive, and it does. You keep going back to it to get that feeling again and again. It's almost like I'm describing some type of drug. Crazy, but that's not all. Watching so much of it can desensitize a man to sex. I mean, in all honesty, that's pretty much expected. Think about it like this. Say you and your friends use a lot of edgy humor around each other, and then after a while, the edgy humor kind of gets dull, and the shock value of the jokes lose a lot of their shock. Okay, so we've established that watching too much porn can desensitize you to sex. Big whoop. But yeah, if you want to keep watching it, go ahead. Oh, by the way, it causes erectile dysfunction. So now not only do you get less excited about clapping cheeks, you can't even clap cheeks anymore. Have fun trying to shove that Pillsbury ass dick up your girlfriend, because I guarantee you she'll leave you for big head. I want to make it very clear that masturbation itself doesn't cause this, but doing it to porn does. There are so many other negative effects, but I chose the 2 that will scare dudes the most. If I went into all of them, this video would indefinitely be 17 hours long. Just think about how emasculating it is not to be able to get hard or bust a fat ass nut because you've watched so much porn. Think about how depressed you'd be because you know you can never pleasure another woman. If I was ever in that pathetic ass situation, I would fucking cry, dude. To know that I not only didn't try to get a girlfriend, but used porn as a replacement to fill that hole of being horny 28/9, which in the long run rendered me useless as a man. I would be humiliated and embarrassed of myself in the most literal sense. Anyways, this last part is for people with a significant other, so if you're single, leave. In another one of Brittany Venti's videos, she makes a fucking amazing point.
You know, this narrative is being pushed that, you know, women have to allow cuckoldry, essentially. Because that's what pornography is, in my opinion. Like, if you're in a relationship and somebody else is sexually getting off to somebody else, to me, that feels like cuckoldry, and I'm not okay with it. And a lot of women are like me, where they're not okay with that, and it makes them feel uncomfortable.
I'm gonna paint a scenario for you. Imagine you have a girlfriend, right? And she has a friend who happens to be male. And you notice that she hugs him a lot and play fights with him right in front of you. I like how that just is off the top of my head, the play fighting thing. The joke, it's not even funny. The joke isn't even funny anymore. I'm sorry. But you see where I'm kind of going with this, right? In the same video, she also makes this really good point.
I've seen so many stories where women will catch their boyfriends watching cam girls pornography, and it'll be a girl that's the exact opposite of them. So if the girlfriend is skinny, very lean and tall, maybe the girl they're watching will be short and very curvy, the complete opposite. And I can see why that's hurtful. And I'm sure you guys can understand why too, why pornography can be kind of hurtful to women. And no, it doesn't just mean, oh, you're insecure, bro. Just like let your man jerk off to every woman he sees. I don't think that's an argument at all. And what if I was insecure? Does that give my boyfriend the right to make me feel like I'm in a cuckold while he goes and jerks his chicken off to another woman? It doesn't sit right with me, the fact that knowing that there's other women out there who feel like this, and they're, some of them fall for the meme and they're like, okay, well, I guess I just have to allow myself to feel like shit because my boyfriend is going and, donating to a cam girl, or jerking off to pornography in front of my face instead of having sex with me. I guess that's how it is now. Be progressive.
And once again, she's right. It's not fair or loving to the other person whatsoever. And just for the record, speak up if you feel uncomfortable about anything in your relationship, dude. It's not gonna stop until you say something. Don't be fooled or brainwashed into thinking it's not okay to feel some type of way about it. I mean, that's how you should feel, if anything. But yeah, man, I think it's about time for me to wrap this thing up. In conclusion, masturbation by itself is perfectly normal, but just don't do it to porn, because it causes some serious negative effects for everybody involved. The males get erectile dysfunction, and the actresses and models get depression and embarrassment. You ultimately end up supporting prostitution and shit mental health. It's a lose-lose for everyone, dude. So do yourself and everyone else a favor, and stop watching porn. If you made it to the end, thank you, man. I'm probably never gonna make another one of these long videos again because this took way too much time. With that being said, go ahead and go check out Brittany Venti's channel. She actually inspired me to make this video. And yeah, thank you for watching because it actually does mean a lot. So yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you later. Peace.